House of Mr. Reg and Mrs. Grace Priestley at number 9 Greetwell Lane, and it's the 24th of March 1990.
Oh yeah.
I had the job to remember the date actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you questions on where you've been, what you've done, Reg, what have been your interests, and all sorts of things like that. And the obvious one I'm going to start with, when were you born?
12th of January 1900.
12th of January 1900.
Yeah.
And where was that?
At Holmby.
At Holmby?
Holmby, just there, yeah.
Holmby by Spittal?
Yeah.
Oh, really? And your wife, Grace, when were you? Can you remember when you were born?
Rich can.
You? When you was born?
Yes, but what?
1903. 1902.
Yes.
What was the date?
17th of November.
Yes.
17th of November 1902.
Yes.
And where were you born?
Boston.
You were born at Boston?
Yes.
That was a long way to go to Holmby, wasn't it?
Yes.
She didn't come straight away.
No, no. Where did you go to school, Reg? At Holmby?
No.
Ah.
We left and went to Northolt when I was about
Did
a
you?
year, I would think.
At Northolt?
Yes.
But where did you go to school?
At Northolt.
There was a school at Northolt
Yes.
then, was there?
Yes,
Yeah.
village school.
And how old were you when you started? Would you be 5?
5, yes.
5. And how long did you go to school?
Well,
What age would
we
you
left
be?
there and went to Broadholm Manor, you know.
Broadholm
just
Manor,
in
yes.
Saxelby.
Near
And I finished
Saxelby.
school there.
At
Broadholm.
Saxelby?
Well, I didn't finish school there. We went there a year or two, and then I went to Lincoln,
To Lincoln?
Rosemary Lane,
Did you really?
And paid threepence
a week.
Threepence a week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
At Lincoln.
Rosemary
At
Lane.
Rosemary Lane. Threepence a week they charged you
Yes.
then?
Yeah.
And did you finish school in there?
Yeah.
Were there any exams at the end of school or anything like that?
I don't think so. It's at
No.
Christmas. I left and I never went back after
No.
Christmas.
You left it at Christmas?
Yeah.
You would be about 14 then, were
Yeah.
you? Yes, yeah. Where did you first go to work?
Well, at Broadholm.
At Broadholm?
Yeah.
Yes, on the farm.
On the farm.
But did you ever take employment outside the farm?
No, never.
Never.
No.
You were always on your father's farm or your farm?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. What sort of school holidays were they?
5 weeks in the summer.
5 weeks in the summer?
Yeah.
And a break at Christmas
Yes.
and Easter?
Yes, but not like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was a week or a fortnight. I can't remember.
No. We used to get a fortnight, but I don't know whether you would
Well,
do.
then maybe did do then.
Yes, yes. They don't have that, of course, now.
Oh, no, not allowed to work now.
And your father was a farmer?
Yeah.
Yes, all the time.
For anything I know, all the
Yes,
time.
yes, yeah. Mrs. Priestley, coming back to you, where did you first go to school? At Boston?
Yes, I went to school at Boston.
Can you remember the name of the school?
The church school.
It was
in
the
the
church.
Pump Square.
In
Pump Square.
Pump Square?
Yes.
Really?
Still there.
I was going to say Pump Square's still there.
Yeah,
Yes.
the school is. I don't know whether it's a school, but it's still there.
Is the building still there?
Mm.
Is it? Mm. And did you go at the age of 5?
Oh no, I was younger.
You were younger, were you?
Yes, because evidently I was a little bit. I needed school or something.
I
like
see.
that. And, well, we had a pub. You see, and we left.
Your parents kept a pub, did
My
they?
parents kept
In
a
Boston?
pub. Yes. The
Yes.
Open Anchor.
The Open Anchor.
Yes.
I wonder when that disappeared.
It's still a sweet shop.
It's a sweet shop
Yes.
now, is it really?
Yes.
Yes.
Near Cheers.
Really?
But going down High Street.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think. Yes.
And what did your father do for a living?
My father, he had as far as I can remember, he had a trolley with a cart.
Did it?
wasn't. We called it a trolley.
In addition to running the pub?
Yeah.
He was a
Oh,
gangmaster, really, wasn't
Was it?
he?
Yes.
Yeah.
A gangmaster?
Yeah.
In
Yes.
addition to the pub?
Yeah, well, we got the yeah, we left the pub then.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
We left
Yes.
the pub because his mother died, and I suppose he wanted to get into there,
Yes.
and that was that.
Hmm.
And so, I don't know for some reason, but they said I would do it behind in some way, and it wasn't convenient. So I went out to believe at 4.5.
You went to school at 4.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you go until you were 14?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh.
I was
you
at
did.
work.
No. You went while he was 14, Mother? To school?
I don't care what school or not. I went when I was a bit before 14.
Did you? And you went to work?
Yes.
What were you doing?
Well, we used to live in town,
Yes.
and we saw the people going to into factories, and there was 3 of us almost ready for going to factories. See, there was 6 in our family.
Yes.
And how did I get up to?
When you went to work?
Oh, when I went to work.
Yeah.
Oh, these here factory girls, and I remember my sister. They went in. And
Yes.
We thought we got the factory factory trot. I always remember that, but this is just a little bit off it, I hope. And so when they went in, and I went in the factory, and I only had about a month or something like that. I thought, this is not going to be my life.
Mm.
I'm going in the country.
Hmm.
And when, can you remember in Boston, the Still, that public house?
There's a pub called the Still.
Yes.
That's in the marketplace,
In the
isn't it?
marketplace.
That's right.
Hmm.
Yes.
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 And
Down a passageway.
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I left just a minute, I must get it right. Still, I went through the Still to go to the school. You know, it's all just left me.
Well, don't worry about it. We'll
Well,
come back to it.
Yes, that's right.
We'll come back. When did you come to Nettleham, Reg?
Oh, yes.
33, I think it was.
1933.
Hmm.
Yes, that's it. Reg.
But you'd married before then, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Well, how did you come to meet your wife?
She came to work for us
Yes.
Did she?
Yes. Yes, but
at North Fen.
At North Kyme Fen?
Yeah.
yes.
What? When you say she came to work for you?
Well,
What?
I thought, now I'm not having this here come there.
Yes,
And so the Still, these farmers used to go round the Still
I
to
see.
sell the corn, didn't
Yes.
they? And it was on 14th of May when I was coming home, and I thought, oh, I should love to go with the farmers and be in the farm. And I envied because that's where the girls used to go
Hmm.
and get a job. And I thought, I'll stop here and have a look round. And Reggie's mother came up to me.
Really?
Reggie's mother came up to me and she said, would you like to go on the farm? I said, my word, I would.
Well, what capacity did you go on the farm? What did you do?
Well, I'll come to that.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But, oh, and so she said, because I want a girl like you to come and work on the farm. Oh, I thought that'd be marvellous. It would be heaven if I got there from going to the factory, because it made me mind up that I wasn't going there. And so she said, would you like to come? I said, yes. She said, well, can I go round to see your mother? I said, yes. She came down to see my mother, and between them, just a minute.
Known you for a long while, Mother.
Well, I must tell you right, don't I?
Has it gone again?
You're saying your money, I know what you got a year. Is that
Yeah.
what you're on with?
Yes. Yes, well, she gave me 2 shillings for a fastening penny.
Oh, it was a fastening
Fastening penny,
Yes.
yes. And,
You were going to tell me what you went to do on the farm.
the fastening penny, well, when I got there, she said, well, we'll fetch you on Wednesday. Oh, I said, can't I go today? So you know how anxious I was.
Now, say what you did on the farm.
On the farm, well, I did as they gave me £4 a year,
Yes.
and I did I went round and did the horses, not straight away, but I helped this
She helped on the farm, ploughing and all
ploughing.
that sort of
I
thing.
did, didn't I, Reg?
Yeah.
Did you really?
I could,
Yeah.
yes. And I
Real
could
farm
take-
work.
Yeah.
I could take a couple of horses and plough.
Could you?
Yes, I could. And I used to go and help to thrash.
You really became a part of the farm?
Yes, yes. But I helped his mother because she was a real lady, and I loved her, and I also loved his dad.
Yes.
So we all took to one another, and I had some real good times there. Like everybody else, there was a mixture, but never a nasty mixture. They're not like we are today, you know, it's pack up and go. But I did. We had all weather and all jobs to do.
When did you get married then?
Oh, we come to that now.
Billingham,
Yes.
At Billinggate?
Billingham.
Yes.
Methodist
And the
chapel.
date?
The 16th of March,
16th of March
1920.
1920?
Yeah.
17-year-old?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, we did marry then, you see.
Yes,
there doesn't seem
that's
to be
right.
any objection or anything.
No.
And I mean, there was no objection, and we just married. That was that.
Were you born into the Methodist Church, Reg? Your parents were Methodists?
Yeah.
Yes. Methodists, not Wesleyans.
Well, no,
Ah,
they were Wesleyan.
Yes.
But they're all Methodist now. you
I
see.
realise that, but in the old days, I was born a Methodist,
Yes.
but I was never born a Wesleyan. There was a big difference. Nobody went, the Methodists didn't go to the Wesleyan chapel in those days, did they?
No, there
was-
was primitive and
Well, absolutely,
Wesleyan. And,
yes. I was a primitive Methodist. I was going to ask you if you were.
Well, I was for a start because there was only that chapel in North.
Oh, I see. Ah, yes.
No, we went to
Welton.
Saxon, we went to the Wesleyan.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ah. In Welton, there was a primitive Methodist and a Wesleyan,
Yeah.
and never the two shall meet in those
No.
days.
No. Well, there was 3 in Saxonby.
Yes. Is it? Well, you come in with
Go
that.
ahead, go
Oh,
ahead.
come on. Come on.
So you've been married 70 years.
Last Friday, on the 16th of March, yes.
That's an important landmark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good record, 70 years.
Very good.
I believe it's a sapphire wedding. You have your golden and your platinum. This one's a sapphire, my wife tells me.
I thought it was not a sapphire. Poor.
Platinum?
Platinum.
Well, I thought it was platinum. My wife said sapphire. No,
Oh, well, I wouldn't argue with her because I don't know.
Well, it's a great record. I mean, not many people get to the
No, they
70th
don't.
wedding anniversary.
Very few.
So you've had celebrations this last week or two.
Yeah.
Had the family here.
Yes. There was 32 at night on the Saturday night.
32.
32 in here.
That's great.
With tea
There was
towel.
all over the house, upstairs, downstairs.
Yes.
They need to be.
You'll have a job to fit them all in.
How many children have you had?
6.
6 children.
Yeah.
A lot of girls.
5.
Yeah, 5
I
of them.
thought 5 girls and 1 boy.
Yeah.
Yes. Who is it who runs the farm now up the lane here?
My grandson.
Your grandson. Yes.
Jim's my son, you see, with the haulage.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's his youngest son,
Yes.
farms.
Have you any outstanding memories of your married life? I mean, as far as the marriage and your life together?
I don't know.
Outstanding.
Outstanding, I don't know.
It's all been
It's
outstanding.
been outstanding. It's been a good married life.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Would you repeat that? Would you repeat that last?
I say, have you had any outstanding memories of your married life together?
Oh, well,
You haven't had ups and downs?
Oh, you always have ups and downs,
I
don't
Oh,
you?
should-
we all have
Yeah.
them.
I should think mostly ups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yes.
ups and downs.
You
and-
both look well on it anyway,
Yeah.
after 70.
Yeah. We're teetotal.
Yes. Although your father kept a pub.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Father kept a pub.
And you're teetotal.
Yes, my
Well, of course, I suppose you have to be in a Methodist in those days. It was frowned upon, wasn't it?
Well, there was no
Yeah.
money then, was there? And
Not much
my-
to spare.
Oh, there used to be plenty spent on beer.
Well, it wasn't quite so much then, was
No,
it?
it was tuppence a pint.
Yeah.
But it was still a lot in relation to wages.
Oh yes, yes.
My girls had a penny in the stockings. I do feel cross with myself. Could you just wait a little while while I just look round for my photograph of the family?
No, you don't want the photographs
We'll
now.
get it before we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
yes.
get it before we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
I thought
No,
it
no,
was
no. We'll come to them in a few minutes.
The girls, I had 5
Wait a
girls.
minute, wait a minute.
Oh, there was-
You was going to ask a
No,
question.
no. You carry on.
Oh,
Tell us
Carry on.
about them.
Carry on.
mother, 5 girls, what?
5 girls and 1 boy.
Right.
We've never had a wrong word.
Excellent.
We can honestly say that we've never had a wrong word.
And they all like to come and see you.
Oh, they
yes.
do.
Are they nearby or some live away?
We've one in America.
One in America, she doesn't come very often. so-
Yeah.
No.
But you hear from her.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
she
Yes.
speak to you on the telephone?
She rang up on the 16th of March.
Marvellous, isn't it, eh?
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's as plain as if she was just
It is.
across the road.
It is. Yes.
And we went twice.
3 times to America,
Oh,
mother.
Yes.
Yes. And do the others live nearby? So they're able to come and see you?
One lives just up the road
Yes,
here.
Beryl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Beryl.
Mm.
She comes every day.
Yes.
And there's Joyce. Joyce, she's in such a wonderful position. Joyce is
At Bedford.
Bedford?
Bedford, and they're only carpenters are they?
They're the biggest joinery firm in the south of England. That's what she
really?
means saying.
Are they
Yeah.
really? What's their name?
Ilson.
Ilson.
He's retired now, but he does a little bit, but he's retired.
So they're doing well. Your family have all done well.
Oh
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
They seem to be, they spend a lot of money.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
They spend a lot on us and all.
Oh, when I said they were doing well, I was going to say a good example at home, but until you said they spend a lot of money.
Well, they're wonderful, really,
Yes,
and all the girls are.
yes.
And
And your
because-
boys, your son's in transport?
Yeah,
Yes. Mm.
and he doesn't like it now. His name was in the Echo last night.
It was. Didn't he fancy farming? I suppose he did.
No,
didn't
he said there wasn't enough money to it.
Oh.
Mm.
Well, farmers have been saying that a long time,
They have, yeah,
and saying it again.
and they're saying it now.
Yes. Mm.
They've never said anything other than that.
That's what they always said.
It's always a bad year.
Yeah,
You came to Nettleham in '33.
yeah,
So they farm here in Greekville Lane.
yes.
That's the.
But we lived in the Meg.
Ah, that's what I was thinking about. Yes.
Yeah,
You didn't come straight into the farmhouse.
my father did.
Your father did.
Yeah.
Yes.
While he
You
got
lived
the
in-
spittle.
You lived in
The Meg, the Roaring Meg, they call it.
Meg
don't they?
house.
Meg House.
Meg House.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you joined up with the chapel as soon as you came in.
I went to St Giles while I was there.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Ah. Is there there was a chapel in St Giles then, was there?
Oh, there is now. Yeah.
Is there one in?
Oh,
is
yes.
there? Oh, I hadn't realised that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got a well.
Now, half a minute, Mother.
Oh, sorry.
The chapel hasn't got a well.
When did you come to this one? When you came to
When
live
I
in
came
the
to
farm?
Yeah.
Yes. Because this one was built round about the turn of the century, I think, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've recently altered, of course, but that's this only major alteration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
always
like
been
it.
pretty well the same,
Well,
hasn't it?
they built toilets on a few years ago.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I remember the toilets being built on.
Yes, they did before they altered.
Before they altered it.
Yes.
Yes, you're quite right, Nick. Yes.
Yeah.
Who was the doctor in Nettleham when you first came?
Dupree.
Would Dupree, would it be?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he was the first.
Yes.
I think so.
'Cause, well, Deanie came before him, didn't he?
Dr. Dean.
Dr.
Oh,
Dean
we
from...
never had him.
No, well, he was the one before Dupree. So it would be Dupree, I think, when
It
you
was.
came.
It was.
Yes, yes. And of course he lived in the house that Dr. Leckler lived in, didn't
Yes,
he?
he
That's
did.
right. And he had his surgery at the back as
He
Leckler
did.
did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. During the war years you farmed the land, but you were the only farmer, I think, to take any prisoners of war, I believe.
Were we?
I think so.
There's Pat there. Reg has a brother.
I don't
No,
think...
we're talking about prisoners of war.
I don't think anybody else ever took. I never knew anybody else taking any.
Didn't Mrs Pickle have any?
No, he didn't. There was some in Pickles Farm on the First World War, but I don't think there was in the Second. Did he take any in the Second?
Well, Stan, the Pole that's
Oh,
just died.
Was he a prisoner of war?
Richard.
No, Richard was with Reg.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't think he was a prisoner of war, was he?
Well, I wouldn't tell you, Jeff, because
No.
I thought
can't
it was,
remember.
but I don't
How
really
many did
know.
you have?
Oh, with
You-
several for a start.
Yes.
Because they came from, what's this camp just around here? Alton Beckering.
Yes. Well, you'd half a dozen or something like that on a daily basis, did you?
2 used to come
Two.
daily,
They used
and
to
they
come
took
daily.
them back at night.
Yes. Hmm. And they lived with you eventually, didn't they? They stayed with you.
They did.
That was when Richard came, was
That
it?
was Richard and Albert, the one that
Yes.
Betty married.
Yes. And they lived with you on the farm?
They lived in the coal house.
Yes. Yes.
They made it their home.
Whitewashed it out. And
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, and there was comfortable, you see.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they liked it, and Betty, there was
You
nice-
fed them, didn't you?
Yes, I always gave them the
Meals. Yes.
midday meal.
Midday.
Yes.
And you got on well with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What made them stay in England? I've often wondered what made Richard stay, for example.
He was afraid to go home.
Was he?
Yes, he was in the east side. And
Well, he was on the eastern side, was he? Ah,
so he said.
yes. I often wondered what prevented him going.
Well, Albert was as well.
Was he?
Yes.
Yes. And they didn't know, did they know what had happened to their own families?
Albert did, but Richard never knew anything.
No, that was what I felt about it.
They couldn't
didn't know
find-
anybody.
No. Just for
Albert
the
still has brothers there and the
Does
sister
he?
now. Yes.
So this new change in circumstances,
Well,
they
it'll
might,
alter it, won't it?
well, that's what he might meet them again now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he has met them. And
Has he?
Yes.
Ah,
They get on wonderfully well.
do they?
Betty does, yes.
Hmm.
Betty loves it, you see.
Yes.
And Albert.
Oh, they've been across there, have they?
Oh,
Your
yes,
daughter?
several
Yeah.
Have they?
times. Yes.
Even before it was a
Yes.
change?
Yes.
They used to get in all right.
Yes,
They used to
Yeah.
go most years. There'd be no
Did
end
they?
of time.
Really? Hmm. Yeah,
You know, Betty married one of them.
that's right.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
We didn't.
What
have
about your
this.
leisure activities, Reg? What have you done for hobbies or leisure?
Shooting,
Yes,
bowling,
yes.
and singing.
I thought you were going to mention singing. But
Well, I was in the Reef and Coral for years.
Were you?
Years.
that's what where did you do it? You've told me now.
Yeah.
In the Reef and Coral.
Yeah.
Yes.
They call it the Nettleham now, I
They
think.
do. Well, it's Nettleham and Reefham actually.
Oh.
I published this in the magazine. It's coming out very shortly, and they've a new personnel in charge of it, I think,
Yes.
since Harold Jeffreys
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They-
And you really enjoyed your singing.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He does
Yeah.
now.
You sang at the chapel as well.
Yes, I've been in chapel choirs nearly all my life.
Yes.
But not just lately.
Oh.
They've got a lot of young ones. And
You clap their hands and do all sorts.
And they've got guitars and things, haven't
yeah, they have.
they? Yes.
Doesn't suit the old ones.
You don't like the guitars?
Not much, no.
No, neither do I.
It was.
No,
I
it's a
don't like
very-
the chapel twisted around like they've done it either.
That's right. It's a very different service to what it used to be, isn't it?
It doesn't seem to sound the same.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't.
No.
Sounds like a pop festival.
Yeah.
Well, we go to church on a Sunday night, and we started to go to chapel when there's, when they don't have a church service.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was the guitars that put us off, I'm afraid.
Yes, well, we don't like.
No, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can well understand that. Yeah.
What's that going to
But of
say?
course the majority seem to like it, don't they?
They do.
They do.
The
Yes.
young ones do,
Yes.
you see.
And the doctors.
Well, he's in it
He's a
indeed,
That's
doing
right.
Here's a young one.
it. Dr. Acton.
Atkin, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
There's something I was going to say.
How long have you lived in this house since you retired from the farm, Reg?
Yes.
Just gone 18 years.
You've been 18 years.
Mm.
We
That's
love
not-
it.
Sorry?
We love it being here.
You like it?
Yes.
Yes.
Because there's so much.
We've had to spoil the dining room, you see, to sleep
Well,
in.
yes. Yes, but that doesn't matter.
That's
This is adapting a building to suit your own requirements.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Oh no, it's...
We can't help that, can we?
your father lived in it before you.
You did.
That's
Yeah.
the reason why you've hung on to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It is. We,
Yeah.
we hope Jim's going to it.
Really?
To it. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we ever die, to let it.
I was thinking, I wasn't thinking about you dying, but your age is the age of this century. Now, 10 years' time, it'll be 2000.
I know it will.
Are you hoping to see 2000?
I don't know.
That would be a
A
landmark,
year or
wouldn't
two.
it?
It would.
A year,
The year
or two.
2000.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And you'll be 100.
12 days after the 2000 comes in.
Yes.
Who knows? Could be.
Well, you don't know, but I shouldn't think so.
I don't know.
Well, you're well enough.
You look well.
We're very healthy now, as far as that goes.
Yes. Yeah.
I was going to say something and I do forget. I'm inclined to forget.
Do you have any help in the house, Rich?
Oh yes, always.
Do you?
Always have-
One comes twice.
Oh, you get a home help in, do you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we have.
Well, they're very useful, aren't they?
Very.
Oh,
And
yes.
she's a very good one.
Yes.
She's the
Yes.
best, I think, that
Yes.
we could have get hold of.
My sister, who I lost last week, they've been having home helps, and they've really kept them in their own home. They couldn't have existed without them.
That is it, isn't it?
Yes. That's
Well,
the
we
po-
couldn't without Beryl.
No, I'm sure, but you've got a benefit of a daughter nearby.
Yes, and it's
Yes.
marvellous.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
she'll come and bath me
Yes.
every other day as
Quite.
she has been. She's a
Yes.
wonderful girl.
Yes.
And I think everyone knows her. She's such
Yes.
a wonderful girl.
Yes.
Oh no, they make a big difference.
Oh yes.
Yes.
We get her twice a week and we have a gardener.
Yes.
He comes and just tidies up
Yes.
for us.
Well, they're necessary. Just keeps it tidy.
That's
Yeah.
right, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do it. The doctor says you mustn't dig.
No,
Mustn't.
You
I'm
need
getting
to
the
talk
bloke in
because
to
I
do
can't.
mine this week. I'm fed up with digging.
You don't want a bit more than...
No, I don't. I've plenty.
Oh.
I've too much. Yeah.
This is a lot too big, you know. It goes right
I
down.
know it
to
does.
the-
Yeah.
Have
But they liked big gardens when these were constructed.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
oh,
I mean, it was
yeah.
part of the house was to have a big garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to advertise a house with a big garden.
That's right.
Now they advertise a house with a nice small garden.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because I mean, they're used
My
to...
father did it all, you know.
Did he really?
He did.
Hmm.
I saw your father painting this house when he was a good age.
90.
When he was 90,
Yeah.
he painted the house.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
With a picture of him doing it somewhere.
Yes, I
He,
have.
he must have been a wonderful character
Yeah.
It was.
to work to 90.
Yeah.
And we got on so well.
Yes,
And that we now just stepped in the family and that was that.
yes.
It
Well,
was-
this is the point of doing these videos, you see. You can only have photographs, but your
Yeah.
family could have a copy of this video and have you on film and listen to your voice and see your picture, and
Amazing, isn't it?
you see what a difference it is.
And
Yeah.
handed down to countless generations.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why at the beginning we say the date is the 24th of March 1990, you see.
Yeah.
We've learnt a little bit as we've gone along. We forgot to do that when we first started. But due to Harry with his cleverness, he puts titles on, you see, so that makes a difference for us. Yeah. How do you think Nettleham changed since you came, Reg? I know it's a long time.
It's changed, it's grown, hasn't it?
It's grown tremendously,
Oh
hasn't it?
dear.
Yes.
It's only a small village, wasn't it, really?
Well, in 1939 there was just under 1,000 lived in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's 3,500.
A few more than that.
I think there is.
Yes, there is.
Do you still think it's a nice place?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I don't
Yes,
think
I like it here.
I don't think there's any better place than
Well,
Nettleham.
some people say it's been spoiled by growing so much, but a lot of people say, well, it's really nice as it is. It's a different kind of place, but it's ever so nice.
Yeah. I think it's all right. It is getting a bit big though, isn't it?
Well, some people say, well, 50 years ago, I knew everybody in Nettleham. You know, I've lost my identity. But when I said to that lady, well, you know more people now than you did then. And you've got a new identity.
Yeah.
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 We used to know pickles when they used to, sheep came down and they, from the top of the hill, they used to live in that little white house, didn't they? And they used to have their sheep go in the water for
The wash dye.
Wash
washed.
Yeah.
Wash your sheep.
Wash the sheep there.
7p a score they used to charge.
Oh, did they?
Yes. I've looked it all up actually.
Oh, good.
I've had the parish council minutes out from 1894 onwards. And I've read them all up. It'll all appear in the magazine before too long.
Good.
We're going back a bit to your farming days. What sort of farming did you do? Arable farming? Did you do livestock? Did you keep stock?
Yeah, with everything those days. Kept beast and sheep and pigs at Broadholm there.
Yes.
Chickens.
7-day week job.
Yeah.
We used to kill
Yeah.
4 pigs a week, year,
Mm.
and in my dairy, in my cellar, I used to have 2 balks under in the ceiling.
2 balks.
Yes.
That's
balks,
an old
yeah.
word.
Yes. And
They was put hooks in, didn't
That's
they?
right. They were there permanently.
yes,
Yeah.
they were.
For hanging your flicks of bacon on.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right, yeah.
We used to have the hams up there in
Yeah.
the springtime. I used to put them clean
Mm.
dresses on, wash the
However
pigs.
would the modern woman cope with killing a pig? She wouldn't know where to start, would she?
Oh,
Well,
she
no.
wouldn't.
No,
No.
I used to know every bone.
That's
It
right.
could- we could kill a pig and
Yes.
Now they go to the shop and get a few slices of pre-packed bacon.
oh dear.
They wouldn't know where to start.
They wouldn't.
No.
But they wouldn't eat the fat now, you
No, no, they wouldn't.
see.
That's
We used
true.
to fat that deep.
Oh, I
no,
lived on
no lean out.
No,
just
lean
a
on it.
bit at the bottom.
You didn't want any lean, Reg.
No.
You didn't. You wanted the fat.
Yeah.
You lived on it.
Yes, we did.
Yes. I did when we used to kill pigs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You know, go on.
you were strong with it. You could work
Oh,
with it.
yes.
You know.
Yes. Yes. One of the things when I was at school at Welton, I had a tame pig and used to take it to school with me.
Did you?
Yes, I did. He used to follow me to school,
Good luck.
right up the main street of Welton, and it was one of my biggest. I didn't know. I ran away for hours the day that it came for him to be killed.
Ah.
He went off his feet. They would never have killed him otherwise, but he went off his feet. He lost his legs.
Oh well, it'd have to be killed then.
And I wouldn't eat bacon for months after that.
No, I bet you wouldn't.
Checky, we called him. He was a pet pig, you know, a Recklin.
Yes, that was the name. The
Recklin.
Yes.
And he used to follow me all over the place.
Good
I have
luck.
photographs of him. Yeah.
Yes, we brought. How many horses did you bring here? was it six?
Six.
Would be.
Six working
That was a
horses
favourite figure.
Sometimes I've heard a farm described as a 3-horse farm.
They did.
Yeah.
That's how they measured a farm.
Yes.
It
By the
is.
horses.
Yeah.
2 horse, 3 horse.
But there were so many acres to an horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the idea of it, Reg,
Yeah.
wasn't it? They
Yeah.
related the number of horses.
Yes.
But in everyday terms, they didn't say so many acres. They'd say 3-horse, 4-horse, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Those days.
Yes.
And I remember the names of that.
Oh yes.
We had Tot and now then.
Butte and Blossom. And
Yes.
all.
Yeah. Blossom was a real name for a horse, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Peg.
And Peg, that's another
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Did you ever do any horse riding?
Not much, a little bit. We'd a pony, he'd come from a racehorse and he could run.
Good God.
But
We had him for years.
for driving, we used to drive in this here with this here horse. We went all over with him, didn't we?
Yeah.
We used to go to chapel, and that was when I was at chapel.
Did you provide the wagons for the chapel anniversaries?
Mm.
I thought you might have
Yeah.
done that. Where did you used to go? Round the village?
Not here, we didn't.
Oh, didn't you?
No,
Ah. Who provided them here then?
You did here, Reg.
no, I didn't. Well, they're not the wagons taking children round.
We had, yes, we did
No,
have one.
I don't think so. I can never remember taking them round.
Well, we
I
didn't take them round, dear, but the chapel man did, and boys did.
Mrs. Hesketh told us about going round, but she didn't say whose
No,
horse
she
and carts
didn't.
it was.
I'm sure it wasn't ours.
Oh, who would it be?
It was one of our labourers, I know.
Would Jack Shaw do it?
He
Would
could have done. I think he always used the top chapel, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Did the Sunday school children used to come round once a year singing round the village at anniversary time?
Yes, they did.
But they were in trucks,
The trucks, yes.
in
Yes.
wagons, weren't they?
Yes, yes.
Yes. And then you give them a meal afterwards.
That's right, yes.
Hmm.
I can't think we ever took them, Mother. Not
Didn't you?
here, not here.
Oh.
We did at
They used to,
Norfolk.
Mrs. Hesketh said they used to go up to Nettleham Hall.
Yeah, I think they would do.
Yes.
I'm sure we never did though.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh. Oh.
But
It would be
just
Jack
they-
Shaw, I
they
think.
rented it.
I remember Jack provided them after the war, because my daughter was with them then.
Yeah.
My daughter was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember that. Yeah. And they used to run trips to the seaside from the chapel, did they?
Yes,
They did.
yes.
Yeah, buses.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be trotty amongst others, I suppose.
It would be. I'll
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah. But they never had things like rabbit pie suppers in the chapel, did they?
I think they did here
Did they?
a long while since. I think
Oh.
so.
Did they?
Yes.
They had,
Yeah.
so I may ask that question again.
Did they have rabbit pie suppers
Oh, no.
in the
no,
chapel?
No.
Yes, Mother. I think so.
Oh, well, you go on. Yes, everything.
I think they did, Jeff.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
No.
I mean, they're very often they were related to pig clubs and sick and dividing clubs and things
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be attached to the chapels, they were attached to the pubs more, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
But I wondered if the chapel had such suppers.
They
That's
used to anyhow, didn't they?
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I can't remember them
Yeah.
at Welton, but that maybe they didn't there, but that's another matter.
And harvest supper.
They'd have a harvest supper.
Oh, always
Yes,
harvest supper.
and a dress up of all the corn sheaves and things like that were taken into chapels, weren't they?
Yep.
Yes, they were, and Reg used
And
to.
I supplied them.
Yeah, I'm sure you would do.
Years.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Then I did the selling here for many years.
Yes, I remember that. I can remember you doing
You
that.
used to at the Prims, didn't you?
Yes.
At the bottom.
The bottom.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jack Smith was the one that. Smith was the big one at the bottom chapel, wasn't he?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yes. Morris Smith's father.
Morris' father.
That's right. J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
He was the big one at the bottom chapel.
Lois's father across
That's
hill,
right.
Lois Brothers.
Yes.
Stanley's father
That's
just
right.
up there.
Same man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they used to literally run the bottom chapel.
They did.
Yeah. Because when we lived in Chapel Lane, My daughter went to the bottom chapel
Oh.
with Mrs Radford.
She wouldn't have far to go, would
No, she's just across the road.
She wouldn't be late.
No, no, I wouldn't guarantee that. Anyhow, do you know, it's
Just a minute,
we've been on it an hour.
An hour.
Very nearly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, we've been talking to you nearly an hour.
Good luck.
How are you doing, Harry?
Anything you wanted to know?
Oh, well, there you
I
are.
said to Reg.
Well, we haven't worried you, have we?
No, you have not.
Oh no, it's been very nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Have you?
We know that, I mean, we forget things. My memory, I forget things too.
Oh, I'm terrible on names. Terrible.
Yes.
But
Harry?
Okay.
We're at number 30, Scothan Road, Nettleham, on the 31st of March 1990, and I'm going to talk to Elsie Borman, who lived in the village all her life and has worked in the village all her life. This is one more of a number of interviews that we're doing, and we hope to keep on with it for some time yet. Elsie, when were you born and where?
I was born at the laundry in Nettleham, next door to the laundry.
The laundry in the
Nettleham,
Crescent,
the Crescent.
as we know
East
it now.
Street it was.
East Street then.
Yes, when I was
Yes.
born. And I was born the 24th of November 1913.
1913.
Yes,
Jolly good. You went to school at Nettleham?
I did.
Who was the schoolmaster? Can you remember?
Yes, Mr. Bunting.
Mr. Bunting.
Yes,
Was he? I've not heard of him before.
yes.
Well, how old were you when you went? Roughly.
Oh, 5.
About 5.
5, yes.
And when you finished?
14.
You finished at 14.
Yes, and I went to work the day I finished school at dinner
You went to
time.
work?
Yes.
The
Called
day you
with-
finished school.
The day I finished school at dinner time, and I
Did you?
started work in the afternoon.
Where did you start work?
Miss Barron.
Miss
Barron.
Barron.
B-A-R-R-O-N.
Miss Barron.
And she was housekeeper for Mr. Taylor. And that's where the opticians is now,
In Church Street.
in Church Street.
What used to be Sutton's and
It
is
used
now
to be
Burghardt
Sutton's.
the optician.
That's right.
And what did you do there?
Oh, I used to scrub floors. The floor I used to scrub, I used to think it was like a playground. Oh, it was ever so big. Brick.
There were bricks, were they?
Yes.
A brick floor. No brick, no covering on the
Oh,
floor.
no.
No. Red bricks.
Yes, and when you'd done all the kitchen, then you used to go outside the back door, and there used to be slabs to the wash house,
Really?
and then onto the toilet outside.
And you had those to scrub as well?
I used to scrub all those.
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long did you stay there? This would be a part-time job, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
Shilling a week.
A shilling a week.
Yes.
I was going to ask
But
you
I had
that.
another job at the same
I thought
time.
you might have. What was that?
Well, I used to take milk for Mrs. Billy Porter.
Mrs. Billy Porter?
Yes.
Yes. She had some cows in what was the crew yard where the
That's
garage
right.
is now.
Yes.
Yes.
And I used to get a shilling a week there.
Did you? That was
But I didn't
delivering
use-
milk in the village?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, in tins.
In tins?
But I didn't used to get paid every week. I used to have to ask when I wanted my money. And Mum used to say, you'll have to ask Mrs. Porter for your money. And it would probably be 5 weeks, and Mrs. Porter used to say, are you sure? I must put it down on the calendar.
Yeah. And how long did you spend at those 2 part-time jobs?
I should think about not all that long,
No.
probably a few months.
And what did you do then?
I went potato picking
Well, you went potato picking.
with Violet Kerrison.
Did you really?
Oh, and I used to be pleased when it rained,
I'll bet you
because I
did.
used to hate it. But then I came home, it was the following October, so I must have been in working from November to October.
Really? Yes.
And then one day I came home and Mum says, are you starting at Larders on Monday?
Yeah.
And
That was Lada's shop on the
that's
green.
right, yes. So,
And that would be about 1928 then, would it?
yes, I should
You'd
imagine.
be about 15
Yes,
when you started
that's
there.
right.
Yeah. And how many years did you work there? You were 15 when you started. Did you go through until you were 60?
Not with larders.
No,
because the
no,
co-op
but in the
took
shop.
over. I went until I was 62.
In the shop?
Yes,
Without a break?
yes,
From 15 to 62,
That's right.
47 years in the
Yes.
same shop.
yes.
I know they changed hands.
They did, yes.
Yes,
I worked with the co-op for 27 years, so I must
Did
have
you?
been with larders
20.
20 years.
Yes, they larders finished in 1948.
Yes, well, the co-op took me over, and I can
Yes.
always remember Mr McNabb came
That's right.
interviewed us all.
Yes.
And
And of course you worked in the hosiery section.
not all the time.
Not all the time.
Oh, no,
didn't
I
you?
used to go around with the bread, door
Did
to
you?
door. I
Ah.
used to have a truck, much as I could push.
Oh, you used to push the bread round? did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I
Yes.
first started on the van
Yes.
with Mr Spice,
Yes.
and then I think I got a bit of promotion.
That was push your own truck.
And I got my own job, and it was 6 shillings a week.
God, 6 shillings a
6
week.
shillings a week. I should have started at 5, but Mum said to Mr Larder, she got me the job.
Yes.
And said to Mr Larder, oh, she said, not 5 shillings, it wouldn't keep her in boot leather.
Really?
So
Yes.
I got 6.
6. Good Lord.
And I pushed the truck round the village.
Yes.
And it was a big Hobus truck with big wheels.
Was it?
It was, well, I used to jump to tick it up to get
Did you
started.
really? Yeah.
And it used to have
To
6.
pull the handles down.
That's right.
Yes.
And I used to have a bread basket on the top,
Yeah.
and a pastry basket, and a box with flour, and the old Mac ready
Really?
for when it
Yeah.
came.
Yeah.
And then it used to hold about 25 loaves, I should think.
Yeah.
And then there's 6 trays that I used to keep full with pies and sausage and
Really?
buns. And,
You sold all that from the truck?
yes, door
Yeah.
to door.
Yes.
Yes,
Now this bakehouse at the back of the co-op,
yes.
it's all disappeared now.
Oh, yes.
But it was in the backyard, what is
That's
now
right.
the car park, was it?
Yes, there was a bakehouse, a meal house.
A meal house?
Yes, they
Yes.
used to sell forks and barley meal and
Did they?
all corn. Mr Larder used to take that round.
Did he?
Yes, in the little
And that was
van.
stored at the back of the
Yes.
shop?
Oh, yes. Well,
Yes.
Madge Byron and myself worked there. And I
Madge
mean-
worked there, did she?
Oh, yes, Madge
Yes.
was there for a long. She was a van driver, but I never learnt to drive.
No.
I was
No. And there was Morris Smith,
Morris Smith. I worked with
and
Morris.
Snowy,
And Snowy.
Snowy Job,
Yes. Beater Job.
Beatty Job.
Miss
Didn't
Cam-
Billy Cave work there?
Billy Cave was a baker.
He was the baker there, that's right.
Well, he was the baker boy.
Ah, the
So he
baker
was
boy.
about my age.
Yes.
Well, Mr Chambers used to be the baker.
Did he?
And he used to cycle.
Did he live in the village?
No, he cycled from Addison Drive
Did he really? Every day?
every day.
Hmm.
Rain, snow or below.
Yes.
And that he's come down Greatwell Lane many a time carrying his cycle.
Has he
But he
really?
couldn't push it. He
Yes,
used to carry
because
it.
of the wind.
Because of the wind and snow.
Snow. Yes.
he's,
Yeah.
and his wife's still alive.
Is she really?
Over 90.
Really?
It's marvellous.
You know her, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. And when did the bakehouse disappear? Any idea, Elsie? Did the co-op ever operate it as a
No.
bakehouse? It was before the
No.
co-op took over.
It was, yes.
Was it after the war?
I think Mr Chambers died, and they couldn't seem to get another baker.
Was it after the war? Can you remember?
No, I can't remember.
No. No, I know it was there a long time.
Oh, was it?
Yes, because
Beautiful
Morris
baker.
Smith has got a photograph.
Yes.
Well, Edith Smith now.
Yes,
has got
I
a
know,
photograph.
and we got into dreadful trouble for having that taken.
Did you really?
Mr Larder's permission.
Oh,
Now we
dear.
were in the council.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasting time.
Did Mr. Larder live in Deepdale Lane all the time you
No.
were in the village? Where else did he live?
He lived on the green,
Well, he lived on the green,
Yes,
did he?
yes.
Oh.
and
Which house was that?
well, the one where Mrs Baker used to live,
Oh, Mrs. Baker lived
You know
there.
that
Yes,
one?
I know.
facing the green.
Yes.
He lived
Yes.
there, and I think he went from there to Washdown.
Did he?
Yes,
Hmm.
he lived on Washdown.
Well, I knew his son, Hugh.
Hugh, that's right. He
Um,
lives in Sheffield now.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
I kept in touch with Mr Larder. I used to go there for a few days holiday.
Did you? Hmm.
Yes, they've always been very kind to
Yes.
our family.
Yes.
I mean, only in little ways,
Yes,
but
but nevertheless
we
it-
used to appreciate
Yes,
it. And it was
yes.
Mr. Larder that bought my first bike,
Yeah.
but nobody ever knew.
What did your father do?
He was a roadman.
He worked on the road?
Yes.
Ah, and mother just looked after the family?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Where did you live?
I was born next door to the laundry.
Yes.
And then we moved from there to that house that's up for sale now, opposite, at the bottom there. Opposite
Oh,
George Richardson's School.
Opposite, I know, yes.
We lived there for a while and then
Yes.
we moved up Scotland
In
Hill.
East Street, what we now call East Street.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we moved from there and came up here and we've been up here
Did
60
you,
years.
did you occupy these from when they were, well you obviously did, if
We
you've
were
been
the first
60
one.
years, you were the first one into this
First one to
house.
sleep up here.
Because
and
they
it
were
was
in
like
that-
moving into Buckingham
I
Palace.
bet it was.
Yes. it
Because
was.
they were built in 1929,
Well,
these houses.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
we were the first one to move
Yeah.
up here and we moved up on a handcart.
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you were the first house to be built, to be
There were
occupied?
6
Yes.
and we were the first one to actually
Move
sleep
in.
up here.
Yes. Good Lord. Yeah.
Well, it was
Yeah.
marvellous when we came up here.
Yeah, I bet it was,
Oh.
compared to what you've been.
Toilet outside.
Yes.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was,
but even that was better than what
oh,
you had
that was
before.
marvellous because
Yeah.
we'd have to go right past Mr. Need. When we lived near the laundry, we
Yes.
used to go up, oh, I don't know how many yards, but quite a long way. And when it was dark, we used to go with a lantern.
And in the middle of the night as well.
Yes, sunlight me. But while we were living near the laundry, we only had 2 bedrooms.
Did you?
How we all slept, I'll
Why?
never know,
No.
because there was 6 of us at home.
Were they really?
2 bedrooms and a trapdoor.
God.
And the last one that went to bed put the trapdoor down,
Down.
and the snack on.
Really? So if there'd been a fire, you would have been in trouble?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Who were the big families in the village in those days?
Well, Sawyers used
Well,
to be
obviously
a
the
big family.
Sawyers, yes. Anybody else?
Darcys, they
The
were
Darcys.
a big family.
Yes.
Beans.
How big were the Rands family then?
No, not all that big.
No, but there was a Rands family.
Yes,
Because
they're
they're one of
the
the oldest families that ever lived in Nettleham, you know. I can trace them right back to the 1600s, the Rands
Yeah.
family. They used to spell it
That's-
R-A-N-D-E-S.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's connected with Ernie Rand.
that's right. Well, he must have been a descendant.
Must have been.
Yes.
Yes.
They were big landowners at one time.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. And in the 1700s, they were very big.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Were there any doctor's services in Nettleham then?
No, Scotland.
It went to
We
Dean,
used to have to go to
Scotland.
Scotland.
Dean.
But we had a surgery at the institute.
Oh, you had he came and sat in the
Yes,
institute.
but you used to have to fetch your medicine from Scotland.
Did you really?
Yes.
And if you were ill, you had to wait for him to come from
Yes, but
Scotland.
you didn't send for the doctor very often because you
Because
couldn't
of the
afford
price.
to. No, you
That's
couldn't
right.
afford to.
It was 7 and 6 a visit, wasn't it?
Well, I know it's a lot because my sister had rheumatic fever,
Did you?
and I know the bill we got for
Yeah.
that was £20.
Really?
And I mean,
That
in
was a
those
terrible
days,
bill.
oh,
Well,
it's
it was.
dreadful.
Yeah.
And we used to have a man come round collecting the money, Mr.
Is that your phone? Hey there, Mark. Missed that showing we gave. Of
I did, I'd love
We're
to
going
have
to put
seen it.
another one on.
Well,
you
don't put it on a Wednesday night, because that's the
That's
only
wish
night.
list. When we fix it,
Yes.
you fit in.
Yeah,
But I must have a word with Tom Bowie. Not on a Wednesday, that's what you're saying.
not on a Wednesday,
No.
no, because there's Joan. I mean, Joan would come and Tiny, Mrs. Timms.
Yes,
And I mean, we'd all be interested
Yes.
to see it.
yes.
But-
Elsie, where did you live during the war? Well, you weren't in the services, were you?
No.
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 You worked at Larders all
I
the
was
time.
Larders all the time.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. And that saved you going in the services, did it?
Never ever thought about going in
Didn't
the
you?
services.
And then you were never called up?
No,
No.
no.
Oh, that's interesting. But,
But when I finished with Larders, my wage was £3.15 a week.
was it really?
Yes, that
In
was.
1948?
Yes.
Well, that wasn't too bad a wage, I
And-
suppose.
Then Mr. McNabb took
Yes.
over the co-op, and he
Yes.
had us all there and told us how much better off we'd be. We got £1 a week rise.
Did
Well,
you?
I mean, £1 a
It was
week
a lot of
in
money.
those days was a lot of money.
That's right.
But we didn't get any the first week. They kept a week in hand.
They kept a week in the
They
back.
kept a week in hand.
Did
So
they
I
really?
mean,
Yeah.
that put us back a lot.
Yes. You didn't get any wages at all?
No wages at all.
Didn't they? You were
No.
always a week in hand.
Yes.
So when you did finish,
Yes,
eventually,
we got
you would
that
get an
back.
extra pay.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
When I finished the co-op, I was presented with a cheque. Well, I wasn't presented, it just
No.
came in the post.
Yes.
£27, 27 years service.
Really?
Yes.
That was your finishing cheque?
That was my finishing cheque. at the
Really?
co-op.
£1 a year?
£1 a year,
Good
yes.
Lord. They weren't very generous, were they?
Not really, no.
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 But since then, we paid in a scheme, a pension scheme,
Yes.
which we get, I'm
Right.
getting the
You get a
benefit
pension
of
now? Yes.
And also, once a year they take us to Skegness,
Do they?
and we can take a friend, and
Yes.
they give us £8 spending.
Spending money. That's the co-op do that?
They can't do that.
Do they really?
And
Oh.
after 25 years service, I was presented with a gold watch.
Yes. Which you've still got, I hope.
Oh yes.
Yes. Don't you wear it?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
And let's see, in October we always have a social evening.
Oh, do you?
For all the
Yes.
people that have been presented with watches.
Yes. Yeah. And you've never married over all these years?
No.
Never wanted to do?
No, I've had my chances.
You've had your
but
chances. Fair enough.
I might have been Mrs Jack Shaw once. But
Really?
I might have been.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No,
Oh.
I think I've always been the one that's been at home and knowing that someone would have to look after
That's,
son.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. What about your leisure activities in the old days?
Whist-rides, dances.
Yes.
We used to cycle.
Down in the Institute.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Welton and Scotland.
You used
and
to cycle
Dunelm.
to them, did
Yes.
you? Yes.
And Sudbrook.
Did you?
During the war.
Where were they held at Sudbrook then?
In the Nissen Hut.
Oh, in the Nissen
Yes.
Huts, I see, during the wartime.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And what about any since then? What do you do with your leisure activities now?
Gardening.
Gardening.
Old time dancing on a Monday afternoon.
Do you?
Whist
Where's
ride.
that? Where's the old time dancing?
Park Street.
Oh, in Park Street,
Yes.
in Lincoln?
Yes.
Yes. And
Oh.
you enjoy that?
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Wouldn't miss it for
Do
anything.
you get some men there?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Oh,
I have a
good.
partner and he's 86.
Oh, really?
Taller than I am, but
Really?
quite.
Yes, he's quite active.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Quite a good dancer.
Yeah. Have you any trophies from your leisure activities?
Yes. One of Jeff Clark's that was presented to me for playing tennis.
One of Jeff Clark's.
Didn't you present a cup to the tennis club?
I can't remember that if I did. I could have done.
Mm.
I've forgotten that.
I could show it to you.
I've got
but
a terrible memory.
I could show it to you, but it badly needs cleaning. I can always
Yeah.
remember when they brought me this cup.
Can you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was working in the drapery department at the co-op, and I think Tony Asquith gave it to me, and it cost me nearly £2
To have it engraved.
to have it engraved.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was nearly a week's
That's
wages.
right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Have you ever been attached to the church or the chapel or anything like in that way, in the way of religion?
Oh, we all went, well, Dad was a bell ringer,
He was a bell ringer.
yes.
At the church? Yes.
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 Son was organ blower.
Aye, I remember that.
Harry used to be in the church choir and Bill used to be
That's
in the
right,
church
they
choir.
did.
But Son and Lou and me always went to Botton Chapel.
Did you?
Yes. we
In
never
Chapel
went-
Lane?
Yes.
Yes.
Mum used to go to chapel.
Did she?
But Dad was a churchman.
I think, in fact, in the new edition of the Nettleham News that's due out on Tuesday, I think your brothers are publishing a photograph of the church choir in 1932, and I reckon your brothers are on there.
Are they?
I reckon so. I've got it from Eric Gibson.
Oh, yes. Son's on that.
Yeah, I reckon he is.
Yes, he was an
Yeah.
organ blower.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Cotton Smith, of course.
That's
used to make
right,
it.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to go to WI, but I got a bit snooty,
Yes.
you
Did
know.
it?
Too big, really.
Before water was laid on in the village in 1934, I think it was 35, where did you get your water from?
But when we lived near the laundry, we used to have a pump down the garden.
You had a pump
Yes,
and you fetched it from there?
that's right.
Yes. And what about lighting? You had oil lamps, did
Yes,
you?
paraffin lamps.
Paraffin lamp.
Yes.
And your paraffin came from larders?
Yes,
Yes.
and when we moved to gas, well, that was March.
Yes,
We used
that's
to have
right.
those
Gas came about 36.
And we used to have those gas mantles, and
That's
you
right.
had to touch it with a match.
And it had gone.
Your mantle had
That's
gone.
right. That's right.
But that was marvellous when we got
Yes.
gas.
Well, when we first came to the White Hart, it was all gas.
Mm.
Yes. And the mantles, as you say, were all over the place.
Yes, they were.
They were very bad things to have because they
Yes.
broke as easy as that. Yeah. But of course there were a lot of wells all over the village then, weren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And you can remember the village pump in
Oh,
Watermill
yes,
Lane, I think.
yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. We can't find what happened to that, you know.
No, it's strange. that,
Yeah.
isn't
It went out of use.
Mm.
And I suppose it was scrapped, but I can't find any record of it going out of
No.
use. I found when they took the windmills down. You know,
Yeah.
there used to be 7 windmills in Nettleham at one
Did they
time.
really?
2 were well known. I don't know where the others were, but I found record that there were 7. But there used to be one on the top of Mill Hill. That's why it's called Mill Hill.
Yes,
That disappeared about 1850. And then there's, you'll remember the one behind Kettles.
oh yes.
The windmill.
Jeffries,
Jeffries,
Yes.
as it was then.
Yes.
Then Kettles,
yes.
and now...
We used to have a watermill here in our garden when
Did
we
you?
first
Oh,
moved
this
in.
would be one of the 7, you see. There would be water
Yes.
mills rather than big mills,
Yes,
if
it
you
was
know.
halfway down our garden.
Was
there.
it really?
We used to get, I think Dad was allowed 6pence a week.
For looking after it. And people fetched the water from there.
No, it was laid on, but it was in a tank.
Oh, I see.
And
And
it was,
it came into the houses?
yes,
Yes,
driven by the wind.
yes.
Because I mean, it was very serious if we went to town and no wind.
That's
because
right.
The wheel never used to. The top
And there
was
would be a
open,
number
there
of
was,
those around the village then?
I can't remember,
Aye.
but there was, the top was open. When
Yes.
Dad used to go up there, there used to be dead birds and goodness
Really?
knows what.
In the water?
In the water,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Oh, that would make up the 7, help to make up the 7.
Yes.
Because I'm sure there were water mills, the others.
Hamlets, I remember that.
Hamlets, they had one, that's
Yes,
right.
well,
down at
Hamlets
Welton
drilled
Road.
here and
Did
it's
they?
them that put them in.
Yes.
In fact, we've got a photograph with Son and Leuston and
Have you really?
Watermill
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah. Ah. And you've never had a car, have you?
No, cycle,
Cycle?
yes.
Yes.
Never wanted to drive.
Never drive.
Had every
And
opportunity in life.
your brothers had cars though, didn't they?
No,
Didn't they really?
I used to cycle to the porch
Did he?
and Bill got a motorbike.
Oh, motorbike,
afterwards, but
yeah.
Son's never had a car.
No, I know son hasn't.
No,
No, it's amazing that, isn't it?
no, we've always lived without our own transport, just cycle.
Yes.
We still cycle.
What do you enjoy most on TV?
Question time.
Yes. Oh, you look at that in the afternoon?
No, I don't. I
Oh.
look at that at Thursday night.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
one of my
Favourites,
enjoyable spots.
yes.
But I like
What
them.
about the soaps? You know,
I like
these-
Emmerdale and Crossroads, and I
Do you?
don't watch any of the others.
Oh, you Emmerdale and Crossroads?
Yes.
Well, Crossroads is finished now.
Not Crossroads.
Coronation Street.
Coronation Street.
Emmerdale and Coronation
Now I'm
Street.
giving my age away, aren't I'll tell you another coincidence. When I was at work, Richard Whiteley came to open a fete at
Yes.
the bottom of the hill.
Did he?
And I think it's through the tennis club because Tony Asquith was
Yes.
there and I was helping to wash up and serve the teams in the marquee. And they said, this is Richard Whiteley. I hadn't a clue who he was.
No.
I never used
No.
to watch ITV,
No.
I used to watch BBC.
Did your family ever keep pigs or?
Yes, we used to have a pig down the bottom of the garden.
And you belonged to the pig club then, did you?
No, I think I can't remember ever
Oh,
belonging to the
can't
pig
you?
club, no.
No. So you wouldn't go to the rabbit pie suppers and things like that?
No, only when I think the co-op used to have a meat tea or something,
Did
when
they?
they opened a new branch.
Yes.
But,
But of course the institute was the village hall, as we
oh
called it
yes,
in those days,
yes
wasn't
it
it?
was.
You'll
that-
remember it when
oh,
it was a library and all sorts of
yes,
things.
well that belonged to the Derby Midland Club there.
Did he?
And
Yes.
Mr Bob Smith.
Now that Derby Midland Club, that was a sort of sick and dividing club, wasn't it?
Sort
A
of.
sort of.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I know the last bill was Robin
They
Baker.
paid a contribution in and got benefit
Yes.
if they were ill. And
Well, I
things
think
like
Dad was Dorman,
Was it?
but it was very secret.
I know it was.
When
Yeah.
you went inside the door
Yeah.
on the street,
Yes.
just to the right,
Yeah.
where the surgery
Yes.
was at one time. You used to knock at the door and they
Yeah.
just opened it and took your cards through and handed the cards back. There
That
you
was it,
stood.
yeah.
The door was never open.
Open.
for you to sit
No.
down.
No. 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 How would you like to think that Nettleham's going to change over the years? Or maybe you don't think it will change a lot.
I think it's changed enough already.
You do?
Yes.
What are the big changes that stand out for you? Can you think of any?
The people.
The people.
Yes.
They've changed for the better or for worse?
I think we're getting big enough. I
Yes.
don't think Nettleham needs to be any bigger.
No.
I
No.
mean,
Well, it is going to be held for quite a long
Yes.
time. At its,
well, I mean, in my time, I used to know everyone.
that's
in the
right.
village.
Yeah.
But you see, when I go to the
Well, I
shop
think
now, I think probably I'm a stranger down
There's
there.
about 1,350 houses in Nettleham now.
Good gracious.
And I think in 1936 there was 572. Just to show you how it's grown
Yes.
over the years.
Yes.
Yeah. I think those figures are about right.
Mm.
But, well, I've nearly reached the end. How's that, Malcolm?
Not with
I ran short because you see usually it's most unusual for some...
up to you say, oh yes, you live at Nettleham, don't
Oh, and
you?
he'd fill you
And
up
that-
with everybody else's
Yes,
medicine.
everybody that wanted medicine, anyone that went, he used to fill the
Good Lord.
bottles and
Yeah.
used to come home with your bag.
Yeah.
That's going back into the ages
Oh,
about
look
the
at
murder
that.
of that postboy.
Yeah. Oh, now there's a copy of this, I think, in the library, isn't there?
Yes, through
I think
Mrs.
there is.
Bowes.
Yes.
There you are, that's...
Well, now sit down in your chair. Elsie is going to read out a list of all the old shops that used to be in the village in her young days. Right, Elsie, carry on.
This was written by Bill Borman, my
Yes.
eldest brother. In the early 1900s, the following businesses existed in Nettleham. Public houses, the Brown Cow, William Nicholson, brewer, the Halfway House, Smith, the White Hart, Fred Webster, Saracen's Head, J.W. Gibson, the Plough, Ewer, Black Horse, T. Bowes, Greyhound, Ragby Road, Smith, Grocers, etc. Mansford and Son, The Green, R. Nicholson, Cross Street, J. Watson, The Green, Miss Letty Smith, Backside, Mrs. Warwick, High Street, Mrs. Millington, High Street, Taylor's, Codling and the Hill, Cross Street, J. Wingard, The Green, Joiners, W.R. Parker, Watermill Lane, Wilson Kirk, Chapel Lane, Blacksmith, George Jubb, Chapel Lane, Butchers, J&H Vickers, Church Street, J.W. Clark, East Street, Porky and Allwood, Pork Butcher, High Street, Tinker, Atkinson, Church Street, Cycle Repairs, G.H. Ward, Church Street, and in brackets, and Dentist, Sadler, Charles Watson, The Green, Lime Pits and Kilns, W. Vickers, Washday. Laundry, Mrs Moore. Boot repairer, R. Nicholson, Cross Street. Carriers, G. Ward, W. Robinson, J. W. Clark and J. W. Gibson. Wagonette owner, Mr. W. Sawyer. Fried fish, Mrs. Edens, Beckside. Threshing machine owner, G. Richardson, The Green. Hunting stables, The Green. And builders, William Bailey, Sam Baker. And barber, Arthur Cooper, Chapel Lane.
Thank you very much, Elsie. That's most interesting. We've never had that before.
And there's something here that I can... I'd love to read this to you.
Carry on.
Can you just
A
pause
minute. Are you ready?
Right.
Carry on.
One often hears about how cheap everything was years ago. I can remember a £4 loaf of bread costing 3 halfpenny, tobacco 3 halfpenny an ounce, eggs fresh 16 for a shilling, beer 3 a pint, lard 7 a pound, fresh butter 9 a pound, flour 1 and 8 a stone, ham 8 a pound, sweets 4 a pound, 12 boxes of matches for 2pence, milk 1.5 pence a pint, a suit of clothes from 17 and 6 upwards. All this was in 1912. What good times to live in, with 2 question marks. For some probably, yes, but for the majority, no. The majority was the lower paid worker, the farm worker on 15 shillings a week, of probably 58 or 60 hours, say 3 farthing per hour. The foundry labourer on 18 shillings per week of 54 hours, i.e. 4pence an hour. That is the only way to determine the conditions of any given time. Prices must be measured by wages of the lower paid. Taking an average worker's wage is not a fair yardstick. If the average worker's wage was used for 1912, it would possibly have shown the farm workers getting £1 and the foundry labourer 23 shillings per week, which they did not. 1912, good old days. No wireless, no television, no electricity. In the country, it was paraffin lamps or candles, 3 halfpenny a pound. Coal was 11pence a hundredweight, too dear to have big fires. Nobody ever knew the right time to 5 or 10 minutes. How did we find out? Go outside and listen for Big Tom. No buses and few bicycles. And then it says some prices for 1912. A £4 loaf of bread cost a farm worker 3 halfpenny, 1 hour 15 minutes work. 1 ounce of tobacco, 1 hour 5 minutes work. A dozen eggs, 2 hours and 45 minutes work. Pound of lard, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Pound of fresh butter, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Pound of sweets, 1 hour and 10 minutes. And so it goes on. 100 weight of coal, 3 hours and 40.
Keep reading.
Pound of candles, 1 hour 5 minutes. Suit of clothes from 70 hours. A pair of boots, 19 hours. £4 of beef, 4 hours 30 minutes. A pound of ham, 2 hours and 15 minutes, etc., etc., etc. And those are the true facts. C.W. Borman, 23, 10, 54.
Thank you very much, Elsie. That's most interesting.
It is,
most
it's marvellous,
interesting.
isn't
Thank
it?
you very much. Yeah. That's a record.
It
So,
is, isn't it?
keep. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Malcolm. Carry on.
John Borman, 1759 to 1835, and Sarah Borman, 1749 to 1819. Their son was the father of William Borman, 1822 to 1879.
Carry on.
Shall I start again?
No, you're all right.
Oh, how have I got to? William Borman, 1822 to 1879. Elizabeth Morn, 1827 to 1911. Who married. They were parents of Alfred Borman, 1871 to 1945. Susanna Copeland, 1877 to 1944. Charles William Borman, born 1897. Gladys Codling, that was Bill's wife, born 1904. Their eldest daughter, Jean, was born 1928. William Alfred was born 1931 and died 1939. Brenda was born 1933 and John was born 1943. William Key and wife Elizabeth, 1820 to 1900, were parents of Elizabeth Key, 1845 to 1901, who married Henry Copeland, 1844 to 1908. Susan Copeland, 1877 to 1944, and they were parents of Alfred Borman, 1871-1945, Charles William Borman, born 1897, who married Gladys Codling, born 1904.
Thank you very much, that's interesting. Yes.
But one of the sort things out. But ever such a sad letter.
Yes.
When you
But still.
Anyway, it's been nice seeing you.
Oh, we've enjoyed it immensely. I hope you have.
Yes.
You couldn't be nearer the entrance to that new estate,
I
could you?
couldn't
No.
spot the look of our house.
It has, isn't it? We're making him put them back.
Yes. But
It
didn't
was
it
2
a
years
mess?
ago, aren't
I mean, it's such a mess.
we?
My niece came last night from Scotland and she said, oh, Auntie Elsie, what have you done to the lid? Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, that, Mark?